Hello everyone, I'm Bakhritdinova Marjona. In this video, we will talk about effective management communication strategies, written by Dr. Shannon in 2018. This is a table of contents. First of all, we will discuss about foundation of the study. Then we should talk about section 2, the project. And last one is section 3, application to the professional practice and implication for change. Foundation of the study. Leaders expect more organizational communication change within organizations. Developing strategies for effective communication should be every leader's goal. Communication often entails organizational restructuring as well as developing job-related functions and new organizational cultures, which fosters organizational change. Organizational leaders experience increased pressure to improve communication within their organization to improve employee engagement. Some research has taken place in the area of the effective communication strategies and their influence on organizational cultures. Background of the problem. Managerial communication plays a vital role with an organization in the area of organizational behavior and communication. Organizational leaders transitioning from traditional models of communication influence organizational goals to improve productivity. Leaders play a significant role in motivating performance through employee communications and are compelled to constantly implement new communication strategies to keep employees productive. Managerial communication had a positive effect on subordinate job performance. Organizational communication affected employee participation. Stated that as a result of communication strategies, employee effort and engagement determined organizational productivity. Problem statement: a need exists regarding how organizational managers with direct reports effectively communicate to help connect with employees, build better relationships, and improve attitudes and behaviors in the workplace. In a survey of over 1,000 employees in USA organizations, 86% of managers believed they were good communicators, but only 40% of employees thought their managers were good communicators. The general business problem was that the lack of communication between managers with direct reports and employees negatively affected engagement and productivity. The specific business problem was that some organization managers in the communication industry lacked effective communication strategies to increase employee engagement and productivity. Purpose statement: the purpose of this proposed qualitative single case study was to explore what effective communication strategies managers with direct reports in the communications industry used to increase employee engagement and productivity. The target population was 6 managers from different divisions of a single corporation in the state of Midwestern United States. Participants were managers working full-time for at least 3 years who had a managerial title and delivered communication to a department. The social impact of this study might ameliorate employees' lives. Community relationship could improve as a result of effective communication. Nature of the study. The research method for this study was qualitative. Researchers who has qualitative methods focus on communication components within research. Participants in this study arrived at a full story portrait through personal documentation through a qualitative heuristic framework. From individual depictions and images relied from research participants, a complete picture develops. Qualitative inquiry highlights problems where the researcher relieves articulation of personal experiences. Qualitative approaches permit researchers to select and interview participants who have actual experience portraying to what, where, and how the study phenomena influence managers. This study was not to test theory of hypotheses, which are reasons why the quantitative method was not appropriate. Researchers who use quantitative method discover social phenomena or human problems through theoretical testing consisting of statistical measures. Mixed methods include a quantitative component, and researchers focus on the exploration of problems and potential solutions instead of understanding the cause of a problem. This study did not include measured variables. Research question. The central research question was, what effective communication strategies do managers with direct reports use to increase employee engagement and productivity? Interview questions. We have 5 interview questions. First, what strategies have you used for effective communication? Second, what are the characteristics of effective verbal and written communication that you apply? Third, how have effective communication strategies motivated and engaged your direct reports? Fourth, how do you distinguish motivation and engagement as a result of effective communication from other types of communication? And fifth, how have your communication strategies affected productivity? Conceptual Framework. Communication theory follows the idea that human behavior is connected to the environment, which included past experience, present circumstances, and future expectations of all the parties involved in information transfer. This is the operational definitions. Effective commitment, the emotional attachment that employees have with an organization's culture, job characteristics, and personal interactions between coworkers. Communication, a process through which information generated elicits a response in people concerning the message and the sender. Communication strategies, those strategies which infuse communication efforts with an agenda or plan. Employee disengagement, the removing of oneself psychologically from or devoting less attention to one's own agenda. Employee engagement, the discretionary efforts of employees that further the interest of an organization. Goal conquers, employee commitment and performance determine organizational success. Now we turn to the section 2, the project. Purpose statement. The purpose of this proposed qualitative single case study was to explore organization managers with direct reports in the communication industry who lack effective communication strategies to increase employee engagement and productivity. Role of the researcher. The role of the researcher was to collect information accurately, analyze all the data collected, and consider experiences regarding the phenomenon. Moustakas indicated a researcher seeks to understand the experiences of participants. The interview is a method of collecting data in qualitative social research. He was clear and accurate when documenting his interview responses to reduce any potential bias that could affect data collection and analysis. He had no personal relationship with any of the managers of the organization that participated in his study. As he identified and bracketed his personal viewpoints, he sought to understand the viewpoints of others. Participants. He contacted potential participants by email and followed up with a requirement letter. Initial requirement took place to gain access and establish a relationship with the managers of the organizations and participants. He worked with each facility leaders to arrange access to the participants. Research method and design. The 3 types of research methods are qualitative, quantitative, and mixed methods. All 3 methods were appropriate designs to consider for this study. Research method. The research method for this proposed study was qualitative. The qualitative method was most effective to gain an understanding of manager communications with their individual employees. Research design. The research design for this study was an exploratory single case study narrative, ethnographic, and phenomenologically study, were all possible design strategies for this study. Ethical research. Qualitative research leads to new discoveries difficult to present in other methodological approaches. However, researchers often face ethical challenges through the process of completion of findings. Ethics consider the elements of understanding the significance of conflicts that arose from moral mandates and the actions taken by those participating in dealing with them. The purpose of this proposed qualitative single case study was to explore effective communication strategies managers use to increase employee engagement and productivity. Research consisted of ethical treatment of human subjects based on the Belmont report. He applied all guidelines for ethical standards, including governing the rights and confidentiality of research, to the findings. To protect participants' identities and job descriptions, only the researcher should have sole access to this confidential information. The data storage and disposal process entailed storing hard copies of data in a locked home office safe and shredding them after 5 years. He secured all secondary data documents, which included his reflective results and company documentations, in a home office safe that only he can access. Reliability and validity. Reliability and validity, concepts associated with qualitative research, are more reliable through a well-constructed framework. The key to strengthening both reliability and validity of data analysis began with appropriate techniques incorporated from the beginning. This is our last section 3, application to professional practice and implications for change. Presentation of the findings in the following sections. It identifies the findings relative to each theme, how each of themes ally with the literature, and the extent to which each theme support the conceptual framework of communication theory. Theme 1. Coaching employees. Coaching was the first theme to emerge from the data. The analysis of interview and company data confirmed that effective communication is a crucial coaching strategy to increase employee engagement. Feedback and coaching employee are factors that participants found that keep employees engaged. Coaching, clearly stating attainable goals and expectations, were important factors participants found to keep employees engaged. Managers indicate that coaching was relevant to employee engagement. Theme 2. Motivation. Motivation was the second theme to emerge from the data. Participants expressed the need to motivate their employees. As an employee, using this strategy increases productivity and employee engagement. The purpose of the interview questions was to collect information from participants concerning effective leadership communication strategies that helped motivated participants. The interview questions further determined how advice given by leadership helped motivated employee job satisfaction from clear instructions. Theme 3. Consistency. Consistency was the third theme to emerge from the data. The consensus among participants was that consistency is a key strategy for effective communication that increases employee engagement. The theme of consistency confirmed existing literature on employee engagement. Participants' views confirmed that consistent, effective communication to employees is important for an engagement strategy to increase organizational productivity. Findings in current research were consistent in that employees value consistent communication with verbal recognition and rewards. Managers should work to develop and implement programs that consistent communication valuing their employees. Summary of findings: alignment with the communication theory, conceptual framework. The conceptual framework was the communication theory developed by Duncan. The communication theory suggested ways to explore employee engagement, performance, and motivation of people in the workplace. According to communication theory, individuals determine effective communication by 3 factors that included past experience, present circumstances, and their future expectations. Findings related to existing literature on the effective business practice. Employees are motivated differently, therefore managers must understand how to motivate employees to improve engagement. Researchers suggested that people may be intrinsically or extrinsically motivated. Employees who are intrinsically motivated committed to perform without any other actions. Extrinsic motivation could be as effective as intrinsic motivation because managers use motivational coaching to drive productivity and performance. Managers should communicate and develop rewards programs to motivate employees, gain commitment, and reward employees for contributions and the value that is created for the 74 organization. It is clear that productivity increases when employees feel valued. Participants noted when managers allowed employees to make suggestions concerning organizational changes, there was a moral increase and employees felt valued. Applications to professional practice. The objective of this study was to explore effective communication strategies managers with direct reports use to increase employee engagement and productivity. Improving employee engagement may increase productivity, which may improve the sustainability of financial institutions. The findings from this study are relative to the communication theory because motivated and stimulated employees become engaged and promoted efforts to meet company goals. Leaders may consider the findings useful to improve business operations. If there is a commitment to investing in motivating and engaging employees to increase productivity and organizational effectiveness. Training and coaching is applicable to business practices. Using the findings from the study results, managers could proactively develop training methods that would transform the attitudes of employees to encourage behaviors that ally with the culture of the organizations. Managers with direct reports could use the findings from this study to develop recognition programs that will improve performance levels. To develop an effective reward program, managers should determine whether employees are intrinsically or extrinsically motivated. Implications for social change. The demand to maintain relevancy requires managers with direct reports to invest in employee engagement in order to maintain the competitive advantage. The implications for positive social change include the potential for managers with direct reports to improve understanding of the causes engagement and disengagement, what internal communication that causes disengagement, and what benefits could establish if engagement strategies were put in place. The results of this study may provide managers with knowledge on employee engagement strategies used to improve productivity and organizational effectiveness within the industry. Thank you for attention.